When it comes to the tale of Naruto Uzumaki, it's one of the stories that has proven to stand the test of time for its impact. This fall will mark 10 years since the Naruto manga ended and 25 years since the very first Naruto manga chapter ever dropped. With 720 episodes of the anime and 72 volumes of the manga, 73 when you count Naruto Gaiden, the 7th Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring. And following the ending of Naruto, there have been nearly 30 light novels set in the Naruto world that further explore this story. It's that last sticking point that brings me to the topic of today's video, which is there was a lot of material that happened after the 4th Ninja War that wasn't fully adapted into the Naruto Shippuden anime in some cases, or never adapted at all in other cases, in a lot of cases. Like for instance, that time after the 4th Ninja War ended where Naruto Uzumaki found himself going back to jail, but unlike the events of the Blood Prison movie where Naruto was framed for a crime he didn't commit and sent there unbeknownst to him as being part of a mission, this time it was something a little bit different. Join me in today's newest edition of After Naruto Shippuden, where we'll explore this tidbit of information that you didn't see animated in the Naruto Shippuden anime. For those of you guys who are new, After Naruto Shippuden is a series on the channel where we take a look at story events and lore that occur in the Naruto timeline between Naruto chapter 699 and the start of the Boruto era in chapter 700, with much of this content never having been adapted into the Naruto Shippuden anime, hence the title After Naruto Shippuden. The information for this video is going to be coming to us from one of those stories that Naruto Shippuden didn't animate, which is the Kakashi Hiden story, Lightning in the Frozen Sky. This part of the story takes place in the months following the end of the 4th Ninja War, and then it jumps ahead to the time 1 year after the war where Naruto's already gotten his Hashirama Cell arm, but is having trouble using it properly to do simple things like eat ramen. In the scene we're going to be going over, Naruto is just a few months removed from the Ninja War. He's just visited the graves of Zabuza and Haku. He's reflecting on how the ninja world is changing and the increase in technology that was beginning to start taking the ninja world by storm, and Naruto finds himself in a conversation with an old friend that he hasn't seen in over a year, Inari. And as the two of them catch up, we learn just how much the Land of Waves has changed since Naruto helped save it from Gato, and Naruto has once again saved the Land of Waves, this time from the Armament Alliance, the group of ninjas and people who experienced Madara's infinite Tsukiyomi and thought to themselves, Madara was right about the ninja world needing to change, and they chose to attempt to force that change by targeting the Land of Waves on an experiment where they would try to massacre half the population to force peace and shared resources with survivors. But thankfully, Naruto and Sai, they swooped in and they put a stop to it. Inari tells Naruto that because of the Great Naruto Bridge, the Land of Waves has become a major trade center and has opened up economic expansion in a big way for them, in particular their transport service economy. On one hand, Tsunade and Kakashi, they were right about the promise of more trade coming via the 4th Ninja War ending and that post-Ninja War treaty that was being drawn up. The Land of Waves, it would serve as a port that would see a lot of work. But just as the fishermen and the Funato Clan members in that Funato Clan arc in Boruto's anime were getting pissed off that their way of life that it fed their families for decades upon decades was being sacrificed for the sake of economic progress, and they were getting nothing in return, there were people here in the Land of Waves who saw the building of these aircrafts that were being used to transport goods and services faster than what you would get with people who were using boats and etc. They saw it as running hundreds of families out of business because there was no way to compete with transport by boat, which would take several days, versus an aircraft that can reach that destination in a much shorter period of time. As Naruto is learning about this situation and realizing that this is something that is waiting for him when he does become Hokage one day, where he's gonna have to deal with issues such as this. It's then that we learn that some of Naruto's old habits, they didn't necessarily die hard, and it ended up with Naruto getting thrown into jail. With the scene in the context being set is here, I'm gonna read the selected scenes from the story itself, and then I'm gonna come back to you guys my thoughts, and it's here I'm gonna begin quoting. Naruto raised a skeptical eyebrow. I think a lot of people will show up to work on it, Inari said, raising his head to look directly at Naruto. Right from the start, our Land of Waves has made its living via transport. The people who have carried the burden of those commodities on their shoulders, the people who have carried them in the ships, they'll probably be put out of work. And then what happens? everyone will start to hate the Tobi Sachimaru. They'll start to hate us for building that airship, Inari said. Money, money, money. Goro's voice sprang to life in Naruto's ears. If the land of waves is at peace, then it is a peace built on a pile of banknotes, seized by stomping on those impoverished people. Seeing Naruto's serious face, Inari changed the subject. Thank you for capturing Goro and his gang. They were against the building of the Tobi Sachimaru in the first place that killed so many people. He was sent to Hozuki Castle, right? Inari asked. Yeah, probably, Naruto replied. Speaking of that, you got tossed into Hozuki Castle too, Naruto. You peeked into the lady's bath. Inari took one look at Naruto and his bulging eyes and he laughed. His laughter was infectious and Naruto joined in and changed the subject quickly. The world just keeps changing, you know. Money, it's like kunai. It's like ninjutsu. It's good or bad, depending on how you use it, you know. Maybe if you use that money the right way, maybe you can help a lot of people. That's the best way to fight back against all of this, Naruto said. End quote. Somewhere in Ninja Heaven, Jiraiya is probably thanking his lucky frogs that he died before peeping into a woman's bathhouse during an era where that will get you thrown in Hozuki Castle for a couple of nights. That defense of Your Honor, I was simply doing research for my next novel, is not gonna hold up, and honestly, it's probably better than getting your ribs broken by someone like Tsunade who almost killed Jiraiya, or Sakura when they catch you trying to sneak a peek at them naked and bathing. On a serious note though, what I love about this scene and why I really want to talk about this is that it perfectly shows us that goofy side of Naruto that we all knew and loved, but it also shows us that Naruto's beginning to grow up here little by little, and the world that is changing is forcing him to grow, and he's beginning to view things as being part of a bigger picture, something that he was starting to do towards the end of the Fourth Ninja War. Naruto fighting that Ice Release user who lost her son due to a policy that Tsunade had, and she participated in the Land of Waves massacre, it stirred something up inside of Naruto. The same spending almost a full year working alongside Sai for several months, hunting down so many people who deserted the battlefield after the Fourth Ninja War and took up Madara's cause. In Naruto's mind, he helped save the ninja world. Yet here you had people who were once comrades, who were fighting side by side alongside Naruto's shadow clones in the war, who said, wait a second, we are on the wrong side of the war. That enemy that you told me was an enemy, he was actually a savior. We see Naruto going to Zabuza and Haku's graves, and he's trying to make sense out of everything. We see Naruto speaking to Inari to learn about the changes that have come to the Land of Waves since he was last there 6 years ago, and getting a glimpse into a future of technology, which is the ugly truth being shoved right in Naruto's face. Progress was coming to the ninja world, and a ton of people, they were about to be displaced, and there was a growing unrest with the people in the Land of Fire and its territories such as this, just as we saw in the Funato Clan arc, which is why during the episode reviews of the Boruto anime, I kept stressing to a lot of people, saying that the anime arc, it makes a lot more sense when you read the Kakashi novel and you read very closely the Sasuke story of Sunrise, because that arc directly builds on this type of stuff. Naruto, he wasn't the brightest guy in the room. He was probably the dumbest guy in a lot of rooms he was in, but he could see that the war with Madara, it might be over, but there was a different war bubbling below the surface, with technology as the root of the cause, and that Tsunade and Kakashi, they were rightfully focused on hunting down the Madara sympathizers. Some of them were causing massacres such as this. However, they were ignoring the problems that were coming from advancing technology this fast, which is ironic given that it would be under Naruto that as Hokage, his fear regarding technology's rapid growth, it will be realized, with Amato turning humans into cyborgs who each possess the power of gods, figuratively in some cases and literally in other cases. The real beauty in this moment for Naruto is that he's not the guy that's going to come up with all the answers to problems that you have. He's not going to have some super complex plan, but sometimes someone as simple-minded as Naruto is the one who accurately has their finger on the pulse of the changes that are occurring. And for Naruto, seeing everything that is happening and how it's affecting all these people, Naruto realized that if something doesn't change, if course isn't changed, it might lead to bigger problems. And Naruto's answer to all that was, maybe with all this economic growth, maybe we do stuff that will better help the people. Naruto wasn't against technology changing per se, but he was against what he saw in the Land of Waves, where it was starting to put people out of work, it was starting to affect livelihoods, and as we saw in the Funato Clan arc, that was something that still continued on 16 years later, and Naruto saw the problem with focusing on technology and not the people. Which, if you're curious about the full story regarding the rise of ninja tech, you'll want to click on this video you see on the screen for an in-depth breakdown.